Welcome, everybody, to Wait, Don't Poke Me, the Diabetes Game Show. If you have heard the NPR version of Wait, Don't Tell Me, this is our version, so we apologize to NPR in advance. In this session, you are going to meet some terrific people living with diabetes or who have diabetes in their families who have gone above and beyond to help the community, and we're going to have a laugh or two, probably at their expense. Wait, Don't Poke Me will feature trivia, bluff the listener, and much more. But before we get to the games, let's get to our panelists. We'll do a quick intro and then we will get started. So first, let me bring in Justin Masterson. Justin, hi. I first met Justin when we were talking on the podcast about his Walk a Mile cards and exercise and empathy, a teaching tool to help those with diabetes understand a little bit about what people with diabetes go through every day. Justin's daughter was diagnosed with type 1 when she was 5. She was diagnosed on her birthday. Yeah. And he is in charge of strategy at Seek, a market research firm. How old is your daughter now, Justin?
She just turned 11, so her birthday was just a few days ago.
Wow, she was really diagnosed on her birthday.
She fell ill on her birthday, but we got there the next morning. So it was technically the day after, but she's now been 6 years and living very well.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, we will hear more from you for sure. I want to bring in Lauren Lanning, and Lauren is a familiar name and face to many people at Friends for Life. She's been there usually at the first timers since the very first FFL in 2000. She used to run registration, then the elementary program. Now she leads the moms and the first timers. Lauren's daughter, Monica, was diagnosed in 96. And she has been, I can say firsthand, amazing at these Moffle meetups we've been doing. Lauren, the Moffle meetups have been awesome. Thank you.
Oh, I love them. It's great. It's great being able to connect with my fiddles.
Yeah. So your daughter was diagnosed in the 90s. How is she doing now?
She is doing great. She's 20. She'll be 27 in a couple weeks. And she's in PA school at Stanford right now. Gotta brag.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Go for it. That's awesome. And rounding out our panel is Chelsea Rice. Hi, Chelsea. He was diagnosed with type 1 as an adult at the age of 25. He's been part of the diabetes community since I can remember. Chelsea is a stand-up comedian who doesn't just talk about diabetes, of course, but he has been honored by Diabetes Forecast magazine as one of their people to know. And he has brought much needed education and humor to groups like Healthy Voices. And Chelsea, You've really found a talent this year for making soap. I've been seeing all this beautiful soap.
Yeah.
What happened?
I've been locked in the house for quite some time. And so, you get stuck with the phone in your hand and you start looking at YouTube. And it's like, you take a shower. It's like, how do you make this stuff? So and I was like, and it's just something that I do. If I see something that I get interested in, I figure out, well, how do you make it? So that's how I even started. That's how I started baking, barbecuing, all that stuff. Is just like, I just try to figure out, okay, how do I do this? And so I just picked it up, and it's really kind of easy. And the funny thing is, when I started just posting pictures of it, it's like, hey, how can I buy some? I'm like, wait, what? You don't even know what I put in this thing. It might be like gunpowder or something. You want to buy soap from you don't even know me.
The soap looks gorgeous though. I actually thought it was food when you were first making it.
Yeah, no, that's the funny thing about soap is like, people talk about it and you're like, I've joined some soap groups on Facebook. So I'm one of those.
That is such a quarantine thing to say. Yeah, I've joined some soap groups on Facebook.
And that's the thing is like, if people were saying like, okay, well, people are quarantined now, they're at home and they're learning how to cook more. So they're like baking sourdough bread. I'm like, you can't wash your hands with sourdough. I can make a fortune out of this soap.
All right. Well, as we move on here, you are each playing for a contestant who has been selected by random from the Diabetes Connections Facebook group. So let me tell you who you are playing with and for. And we thank them very much. So Michelle Briggs is playing with Justin.
All right, Michelle.
Fee Comstock is partnered with Chelsea. And Caitlin States is with Lauren. So no pressure, but these very loyal, wonderful podcast listeners are counting on you. All right. So
Let's do this, Caitlin.
Is there money involved? Am I going to get like beat up afterwards or something?
Well, hey, look, it's all virtual. It'll be tough to get to.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, you know.
So we're going to start with trivia. And each of you has 5 questions. I'm going to, we'll take one person at a time. I'll go through the questions. Don't chime in with the answers, but feel free to chime in if you have a comment or something you would like to add, or if you have personal experience. These are all diabetes community questions. They're not all about diabetes, which will become clear. And don't worry. It's not, you're not going to be judged. I also do have some show and tell because we're at home in my office. So I thought, why not pull some stuff off the shelves and ask you about it. All right. So we're going to start with Justin. Everybody ready? I would start the clock if I had one, but hopefully we'll just let you know when you're out of time. All right. Our first question comes from the field of sports. NFL tight end I'm already messing up. NFL tight end Mark Andrews has type 1 and he plays for the Ravens. He keeps a strict diet around games, reportedly eating 4 eggs before every game and the same kind of sandwich the day he plays and the night before. This sandwich is a staple of school kids. What is it?
Oh, man. My school, we ate a lot of chicken fried steak and Salisbury steak. I don't think either of those qualify as sandwiches or food. I'm going to say it's the school kid. It's going to be a PB&J. I mean, what's better at school than a PB&J?
It is a PB&J, and he says a lot of peanut butter, not a lot of jelly. He prefers the complex carbs that come with peanut butter. But I would think that the chicken fried steak is a complex something.
Yeah, complex. It's complex.
Complex because there's so many complex things that go in it.
Yep.
All right. Excellent. All right. Next question. There is an eternal flame at Banting House, the Canadian National Historical Site where Sir Frederick Banting woke up in the middle of the night with the idea that led to the discovery of insulin. The flame is meant to burn until there is a cure for diabetes. It was lit by the Queen Mother in what year? And this is multiple choice.
Wow.
1979, 1989, or 1999. I don't think this was featured on The Crown.
So it took him like 50 years to get this flame idea going.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least.
Yeah. I feel like it would be in the 70s. That feels like it was enough time to get the Queen Mother on board. I'm going to say 1979.
Incorrect. It was
I'm thinking 80.
It was 89, which I think is kind of weird. I would have thought it was like 1959.
I know.
But okay.
It was all the rage on MTV, so.
I just finally figured out all the Elizabeths in the royal family because of the crown, the Queen Mother and the Queen. Well, anyway, okay. All right, this is an entertainment question for you. So Brec Bassinger is the young actress who stars in the CW hit show Stargirl. It actually got great reviews. It's been renewed for a second season. She lives with type 1. And her previous series was Nickelodeon's Bella and the Bulldogs. And your daughter might have watched this, maybe not. What sport did the Bulldogs play? This whole show centered around this team. Was it football, baseball, or soccer?
Sometimes my thinking sounds a lot like Googling. So no. I'm going to say it was a soccer team. It had to be the Bulldogs. Soccer team.
It was football. Football.
No,
she was the quarterback.
Oh, Bella. Sorry, I let you down. Michelle, I'll send you something nice in the mail. I'm just sorry for waiting.
Oh, there's a lot of game to go. Don't worry. All right. Here's one. I gave this answer away in the introduction. I don't know how well everybody was listening. I do this sometimes. All right. Here's the question. How old is the Friends for Life conference? I mean, what year of the conference is this year's 2020? Lauren, shh. Don't say anything.
Okay. 1999. How about that? 21.
Right. So, well, I'm going to give it to you because it is the 21st year, but it started in 2000, right, Lauren?
Right.
But we'll give it to you. That was on the line.
You.
Okay. And your last trivia question. All right. This is a show and tell. I hope I don't get in trouble for this one. We love all our sponsors. Okay. In 2018, I don't know how well you can see this.
Yeah.
In 2018, can you see this? Okay. AccuCheck had a diabetes awareness campaign where they sent out these hands promoted by country singer Ben Rue. The idea was that you'd make the symbol, right? And you would upload a photo to your social media platform with this hashtag. And then their parent company would donate, they would donate $1 to diabetes education and awareness. So here's the symbol. What was the hashtag? Was it give a buck about diabetes, buck off diabetes, or go buck diabetes?
I can't believe any of those are true.
Want me to read it again?
Give a buck for diabetes, buck off diabetes,
or go buck diabetes.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to say it was buck off.
It was buck off diabetes.
Oh, hey, if those guys ever need some marketing consulting, tell them to give me a call. I think they might be on the wrong track for a moment.
Well, you do, Chelsea?
Yeah, I do remember that one. I remember seeing it like, are they really going with this one? That was the one they were with. They were like,
I don't remember that at all. When was that?
Ben Rue, it was not too long ago. It was 2018. He was on the Today Show or one of the morning shows. And it was really cute. I think they had a bull riding thing. I mean, it was really cute, except for the part that wasn't so cute. All right, you did great.
I gotta say though, when you first pulled that out, I thought that was a flying finger of fate from Laughing. I know I'm showing my age here, but that's what I thought that was. I was like,
I was a little concerned on how it would show.
Yeah, just make sure which finger to show first. Easy. We don't want to give it away.
All right. So, Justin, thank you. Stand by. We're going to move on to Lauren now for the other trivia questions. And we're starting with technology. All right. This year, Insulet changed the name of their hybrid closed loop system from Omnipod Horizon to something else. Do you know what they changed it to?
Oh. No, I don't. I'm so bad.
No, it's Omnipod.
No, it's I can't remember. No, go. Sorry, Caitlin.
Anybody know? Omnipod 5. I don't ask me why.
Number.
Omnipod 5.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Did anyone else know that?
No.
I had no idea.
I know about the Omnipod 5 as a thing. It just never occurred to me you would change from Horizon to 5. It feels like sort of a downgrade.
It's Omnipod 5 powered by Horizon.
Oh, got it.
So I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. So this one's a little silly, but I enjoyed putting this one together. Major League ball player Adam Duvall was diagnosed in his early 20s. He's had a great season with the Atlanta Braves. But in the minors, he suited up with the Augusta Green Jackets, which is just a great name. What is the mascot of the minor league baseball team, Augusta Green Jackets? I'll give you 3 choices because this really has nothing to do with diabetes, but I thought it was funny. Is it an anthropomorphic green jacket, like, the Masters, little green jacket? Is it a fierce green insect? Or is it a little green golf caddy?
I'm going with the anthropomorphic green jacket.
Little green jacket that looks like a person?
Yeah.
No, it's a green insect. It's like a yellow jacket. It's a green jacket. It's got a little stinger. It's very cute.
Oh.
It's very cute. I had nothing to ask about Adam Duvall, so I went with that one. Sorry. All right. Here's another one. You might know this one. Eric Church just won Entertainer of the Year at the Country Music Awards. I was in attendance a couple of years ago when he gave $1 million to a local JDRF chapter at their gala. What is his connection to diabetes? Is it?
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, multiple
Go
choice.
ahead. No, go.
Is his connection? He's got a connection to type 1. Is it his mother, his daughter, or his wife?
His mother.
It is his mother. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yes, his mother.
Yay, I got one.
Yay! All right. Diabetes Mind ran an article earlier this year referencing how many potential CGMs are in the works, currently being studied or built or trademarked. How many CGMs, continuous glucose monitoring systems, did they say are potentially coming? 19, 29, or 39?
I'm going to go with 29.
It's 39.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Holy moly.
Yeah, 39.
You
Don't ask me to
Oh.
name them.
Yay.
Don't ask me to
Do
name
we
them.
really need that many choices?
Well, I don't think we're going to get that many, but let's all
I mean,
throw them.
39. I mean, 39. What we're going to be buying CGMs at, like, Kroger or something.
How about people like poor Gary Shiner, the certified diabetes educator who tries every system? He's going to be covered.
That's what I was just thinking. Somebody have to work through all those. You can only wear 4 or 5 at a time before it really gets cumbersome.
Unfortunately, it would be great.
I was on an airplane with him, and I think we were going to London for a CWD conference, and he had on like a few different pumps testing, what happens. It was interesting.
He's amazing. All right, your last question. Go ahead, Chelsea.
No, I was just imagining him trying to go through HF, whatever,
With all that.
and searched like, you want to explain yourself, sir? I mean, really.
I'm just beeping every 2 minutes. Don't mind me. All right, Lauren, here is your show and tell. This is one of the Bibles of diabetes care, right? The Pink Panther book. This is the 9th edition from the year 2000. I think we're all very familiar with this. But the question is, when was the Pink Panther book first published? Was it 1970, 1980, or 1990? Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun,
19. Wait a minute. It's Monica's doctor. Monica used to go see Peter Chase.
Oh.
And I used to work for the Children's Diabetes Foundation, who publishes that book. I should know this. It's 1970.
It is 1970. Who knew? I didn't know you knew that. That's amazing.
Well, I had to do the math because Dana Davis was diagnosed, and she's about this old, and I had to do the math.
Yep, and Barbara Davis Center, of course, is where that.
So was that Corning fiberglass marketing?
No, I think they paid. They paid
right.
they paid for all the Pink Panther. Or no, did they pay for it? There were very strict rules around how to use the Pink Panther. And everything had to be okay.
In my research, I found that the first 2 monograph printings were in the 60s, created by a parent in their basement using an old army press and sent out for free. So kids gather around and learn how we used to use paper. The actual publication of the book was in 1970, but isn't that crazy? They did have to they continued to renew the agreement to use the Pink Panther. I have asked many times, Lauren, maybe you can find out for us, what the heck does the Pink Panther have to do with anything? Why the Pink Panther in diabetes?
Right? Blue aardvark.
The aardvark.
Green jacket.
Nope. The anamorphic.
Anamorphic. Okay, so you guys are actually tied at 3 points apiece. Chelsea, let's see if you can take the lead.
Oh my gosh.
All right, you ready? Here we go.
Sure, let's go for it.
All right, the Happy Bob app was released this year. It's been a very big hit. You can use it with your CGM readings, and it tells you encouraging messages. But they have since added a snarky Bob who tells you not so encouraging things. It kind of insults you a little bit. And they've added a female counterpart. What is the name of the female counterpart for Happy Bob? Is it Karen, Mary Jane, or Bobby?
Oh, please be Karen. Please be Karen.
Oddly enough, I downloaded this app a few weeks ago, and in fact, it is Karen. And I was very surprised when I saw that. I was like, "For real?"
It is. It's
awesome.
Like your annoying neighbor. I've reached out to them. They're going to come on the podcast because who comes up with this stuff? I just love it.
Karen would like to speak to your blood glucose manager, please.
Exactly. Chelsea, at the in-person Friends for Life conferences, and they send these out now with the virtual ones as well. There are always colored bracelets. Lauren, back me up here, right? Green for people with type 1, orange for family members. When did they add the bracelets? Was it 2002, 2008, or 2012?
I'm just thinking back to when the whole bracelet thing first dropped, because with the whole Lance Armstrong thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna just throw it out there and say 2002.
Yes, it was 2002. Had nothing to do with Lance Armstrong, although those rubber bracelets were, probably the 90s, gosh, at this point. But the idea was the first couple of years, they were just trying to start things out. And then they were seeing the kids without their parents around eating. And it was like, well, who has type 1 and who doesn't have, we've got to figure.
And when you see a kid sleeping in the hallway,
Right.
do you shoot him with glucagon or do you let him sleep because he's tired?
So they had to rule out the whole thing with like just getting the tranquilizer gun and just tagging them like they do on Wild Kingdoms. And the kid running, yeah, look type 1, tag him.
We do that in my house anyway when they were in preschool. It's much easier. All right, Chelsea, I know you're a big fan of this show. The Babysitter's Club was a big hit on Netflix. Season 2 is coming soon. The character Stacy on the Babysitter's Club lives with type 1, of course, very popular book series. So at the end of the episode there, where Stacy comes to terms with her diabetes, she asks her parents for a designer diabetes item. What is it? Was it, I'll give you choices here, a Gucci fanny pack for pump supplies, a Gucci branded pump clip, or a Gucci cover for her CGM receiver?
I've watched this show so much.
It's really good.
It is really
my
good.
kids are way too old, but we watched it anyway, and it was very good.
We've been streaming Dexter for the past couple of days, so you can pretty much
different audiences.
Yeah,
5 is almost no overlap.
Like,
He might wear this though. You could see where it could come in handy.
What was the first one you said?
A Gucci fanny pack for pump supplies.
That's what I was going to go with, the fanny pack.
And that is correct. It is a Gucci fanny pack. She does not get it, but she has.
She does bedazzle the heck out of her pump, though. And it's cool because for the rest of the series, you can see her pump. Like they leave it visible, which I think is really neat.
I think they did a very good job with it. I was very happy.
Yep.
All right.
You cry, Stacey, did you cry when you saw that episode?
No, I cried. No, I'll tell you when I cried was the other episode when the dad's falling in love and they don't know if they want him to. Like I cried a different, because I have a boy with diabetes, a different.
I kind of messed up. Yeah, my daughter was cool as a cucumber, and I was just fountains over here. It was a mess. I was a hot.
It feels like I'm not missing anything.
No. All right. Well, here's another one, slightly different angle here, Chelsea. Ominous beeping shut down the Forsyth County Courthouse, not too far from me in North Carolina, earlier this year as law enforcement investigated a possible bomb threat. It turned out to be a diabetes device. What was it? Was it an Omnipod discarded in the trash, a defense attorney with a Dexcom, or a judge who let their T-Slim X2 insulin pump run out of insulin?
I was going to say, what was it that was in the trash can? You said it was
an Omnipod.
I'm going to go with that. Omnipod in the trash can. Because it seems like, if anybody's going crazy and shutting the place down, it had to have been something. Because like, if it was somebody was beeping, they just like get up and run away or something. But it just seems
you are correct. And that gave it away with the answers. Very good to see the deductive reasoning there. Interestingly, this was the second time in about 3 years that a North Carolina municipal building was shut down by an Omnipod beeping. You'd think they'd be.
Previously, a lone coyote walked through the courthouse, shutting down several offices.
That could happen. All right, our last show and tell. Wait, let me make sure there's nothing. I forgot to look. Okay. I knocked my microphone. This is our last show and tell. A pump company had a line of toys like this, each of which was comfortable, sort of, on the land or in the water. I think they also had a walrus. They had a penguin. They would change the stuffed animal every year. The company is no longer in business. Was it Deltec Cosmo, the Animus, or Asante Snap?
I vaguely remember this, but I'm thinking it's the second one, Animus.
You are 5 for 5. It was Animus. Yes. And this is Benny, the Bengal tiger. So, of course, I had to keep it because my son's name is Benny.
How long ago was that? Because why am I remembering that for some reason?
I don't know why you remember it. This thing has got to be 7 years old, but I mean, Animus went out of business officially in 2017 or 2018.
Yeah, I think when I was at Friends for Life that year, that was like their last time that anybody was seen Animus that I remember. After that, they just pretty much just like, walked off into the sunset.
The way I remember Animus is they went out of business the day after we signed up for an Animus pump. So for my daughter, so she was finally ready to try a pump with tubes on it, and we were like, yeah. And we signed up for an Animus pump. Yeah, and we took it home from the clinic and everything, and we had just trained on it, and they're like, Animus is going out of business. We never took it out of the box.
Wow. I'm so mad at them. We loved them so much. And I actually, it's a long story, but they're one of the reasons why I was able to come into the diabetes community the way that I did. They liked my blog, and I wound up speaking and writing for them. Oh, cool. And they had great studies on their hyper minimizer. They were one of the first, hybrid closed loops that were coming. And then Johnson & Johnson pulled the plug. All right. We are in excellent shape. We have Justin. I'm actually keeping score, which I usually forget to do. Justin and Lauren are tied. Chelsea is in the lead. And now it is time to move on to the bluff, the listener portion of our show. And we have a real live contestant with us. Trip Stoner is joining us. And Trip, you're on the road. Thanks for jumping in.
No worries. I'm actually pretty near you.
I heard. So you're from Atlanta, but you're passing through North Carolina. Let me ask you, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about who you are, your connection to diabetes, and what's up with you at Friends for Life usually.
I am a type 1 myself. I do a little bit of blogging here and there. Not as passionate as all of y'all are, but I've been with Friends for Life now for going on, I think, 4 years. I'm kind of behind the scenes. Most people don't even know I'm on the staff, which is a good thing. I'm just there to help whoever needs help. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. All right. Our Bluff the Listener section. You have to guess which of our panelists is telling the real story of something that happened in the diabetes community. All right. So we're going to take turns reading here. Our subject this year is diabetes mascots. And they are, of course, as we've already seen, those adorable furry friends who help make type 1 a little less scary for pediatric patients. But honestly, they can be a little bit weird. So, Chelsea, why don't you go ahead and go first? I'm going to give you the floor here. Let me do this. There we go. All right. Trip can hear us. Chelsea, you're going to read your story. And then after we hear from everybody, Trip will let us know which is the real thing. So go for it, Chelsea.
Cool. All righty. Rufus is the adorable teddy bear that JDRF gives out to newly diagnosed families. But many don't know that the bear with diabetes is named after American-Canadian singer Rufus Wainwright. As a child growing up in New York, Wainwright was hospitalized with acute appendicitis. It turns out his best friend, Brian, was in the same hospital receiving a type 1 diabetes diagnosis. The Wainwright recovered quickly, but Brian had to stay for 2 weeks. The future singer insisted on visiting every day until his friend came home. Later that year, Brian's mother worked with the JDRF to create a toy to help kids learn to do shots through play. By then, Wainwright's family had moved to Montreal, so she named the bear after him to give the boys a nice way to remember each other.
Very nice. Okay, so that is our first story, Trip. As you are listening, keep that in mind. All right, Chelsea, I'm going to switch you out with Justin. You're up, Justin. What's your mascot story?
This is a nice follow-up story. So after the success of Rufus from JDRF and Medtronic's Lenny the Lion, other diabetes companies decided they needed a mascot too. But what animal would appeal to kids and make sense for Omnipod? In the mid-2010s, the makers of that system decided to ask their customers. Insulet asked kids to come up with not just their mascot's name, but its species. What kind of animal goes with a tubeless pod-type insulin pump? They got some creative submissions, such as a dolphin and a puppy named Potter. Get it? P-A-W-D-E-R, Potter. Omnipod chose a turtle because they say the shell resembles a pod, and because turtles are at home on land and in water, just like their system. The trademark for Turtle Potter, that's the actual trademark, was issued in 2016, and Toby was a central part of Omnipod's teaching app launched that year. Why is he named Toby? That's only for the turtles to know.
Justin, okay. And our third story for a diabetes mascot comes from Lauren. Take it away.
Okay. Tandem is the current sponsor of Beyond Type 1's snail mail program, which, of course, has a cute little snail mascot. But the makers of the T-Slim X2 pump have been working on a separate symbol of their own. Instead of a fluffy friend, they've decided on a bicycle built for two. That's one meaning for the word tandem, of course, a bicycle with seats and pedals for two riders, one behind the other. Before COVID hit, they were planning to launch this as a stationary attraction at diabetes conferences. The idea was to have fun contests like how far can you and your dad pedal in 5 minutes? What happens to blood sugars when you hop on the stationary bike? They were also going to have children at the conferences decorate and even put features like eyes and smiley faces on the bikes to see if it could work as an actual mascot.
All right. So, Trip, the question is the real story Rufus Wainwright inspiring Rufus, kids picking the turtle for Toby the Turtle, or Tandem's bike extravaganza at conferences if it wasn't for COVID?
I believe it's going to be Rufus. If I remember the story right, she eventually set up quite a few women sewing those bears together to hand out to other children at their local children's hospital.
Well, Chelsea, was that the real story?
Let me check your email.
No.
Unfortunately, the answer is false.
There's just enough truth in that one. Yes, there was a wonderful mom. The kid's name was Brian, so I apologize for sticking that in there. But Rufus Wainwright has nothing to do with Rufus the bear. Justin had the real story of Toby the turtle. Although I've got to say, I wish, and Tandem, for a licensing fee, you can have that idea from me. Lauren, I wish your idea was, your story there was true. I love that one.
It does remind me of the contest that they had to name the boat, and they named it Boaty McBoatface. So I think they got off a lot better with Toby the Turtle. They got off.
Well, Chelsea gets the point for that, for fooling everybody.
Good job,
I was going to
Chelsea.
suggest they change it to Rufus R. Freight Train Jones.
Oh, I like that.
You know, you got a real wrestling fan out there, you know.
Yeah.
Old school wrestling, you know.
Man. Well, Trip, thank you so much. That was a lot of work, I know, on your part to join us. But we appreciate you dialing in and making it work. So thank you so much for playing.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day. It's great to see all of y'all.
You too. Safe driving, Trip.
You too.
All right.
Thank you. Great job, everybody. That was funny. All right.
I love these stories. They were really well written.
They
That's
were
my
good.
Part. Thank you. That's my favorite part of doing this. The hardest part is just coming up with the subject. After that, it's easy.
Yeah.
But man, thank you. Whew. All right.
I think Tandem will be owing you some royalties on that.
How could you not do that, man, at the conferences?
That's such a great idea.
I'm sure their marketing team has thought of it and dismissed it.
but somehow Buck Off Diabetes got through.
Yeah.
There must be some really, really bad ones.
Yeah.
Maybe some people out sick that day. All right, really here.
We've all had our moments. We've all had our moments.
Yeah, we got a deadline, people.
Oh. All right. So finally, we are moving on to our limericks. Now, I will read a limerick to each of you. If you complete it correctly, you will get an additional point. So the topic here is people with diabetes on reality television. So the the answer, and I shouldn't give you too much information here, but I think I'm a terrible limerick writer. So I will tell you that the answer I'm looking for is the name of the show. All right. So Lauren, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
I apologize in advance. These are really bad. You know, and I learned that on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, they have like a guy who works on this all week long.
Oh.
I don't know if he has
job.
another job, but but that's what he does. So forgive me. Here we go. All right. Remember, these are reality shows where people with type 1 appeared. Lauren, this show could be called The Coquette, and a crowd of contestants well met. Michael, among the poor schmoes who didn't get that rose. Desiree said no thanks on
The Bachelorette.
Yes, on
Wow.
The Bachelorette. I know the rose gave it away, but Michael apparently was a contestant with type 1 diabetes on a season of The Bachelor. I think it was 2013. I don't watch that one. So,
I don't either.
all right, Lauren, point for you. Excellent.
Woo!
Chelsea, this one's for you.
Okay.
This show is all over the place with contestants who rarely embrace. Nat came in first. Leo, well, he's not worst. It's a long road for
The Amazing Race.
The Amazing Race. Yes. Dr. Nat Strand won that a few seasons back, and Leo is currently a contestant. Hopefully by the time this airs, he will still be on the show and not out of it yet. So, and Leo has a really, we talked to him for the podcast. He lives with type 1, where it's not exactly type 1, but he was born with hyperinsulinism and had to have most of his pancreas removed. And then he lived pretty normally until he was 19 when he developed diabetes. But we all spotted his Dexcom on episode 1. And I tracked him down, got him on the show. All right. Justin, this is for you.
Ready.
Whew. This competition for fame features cyclones and rams and some flames. Chris trained round the clock, got a hug from The Rock. We spotted his Dex on.
Okay, I can do this.
This is probably the hardest one. Sorry.
The Rock's on it. There are flames involved. The Titan Games.
The Titan Games. Yes,
Is that right?
Chris Rudin. Yes, Chris Rudin competed in season 1 of the Titan Games.
I remember that episode. That was like the one that my daughter called me downstairs to show me.
Yes, and he got a big hug from The Rock. Which
Yeah, that was awesome.
very nice. All right, so we have totaled up the points, which don't matter for Pride. Chelsea is the winner, but everybody gets a prize. Everybody gets a prize because it's just that kind of show.
Sorry.
Poor Michelle. Did I come in dead last, and does Michelle somehow get punished
No,
for being?
I think
No,
it
actually, it was
me.
a tie. It was a tie all
Oh, okay.
around.
All right.
It was a tie all around there. So, in summary, we have Caitlin coming in for a tie for second with Michelle, and Fee and Chelsea are the winners. So congratulations all around. But really,
Congratulations. Well done.
really aren't we all winners though when it comes right down to it?
I'd like to think so, but some of us are technically and more accurately winners, and that's Chelsea.
Well, some of us will find out if we're winners if we find out if the show
You're
actually
a dumb
recorded.
luck, believe me.
In the couple of minutes that we have left, let me just go around and say a thank you and maybe just give you guys a little bit of a last word. Lauren, you have been amazing keeping the Moffles going and everything at Friends for Life. How has it been for you this year? Are you enjoying it? Is it just more work for you?
No, I love it. I love the connection. I didn't think that online would still have the same feel, but it's great connecting with my Moffles every other week, and hope everyone can join us.
Excellent. And Justin, you know, I can't imagine it's easy doing this quarantine thing, you know, as you're with your family and your daughter with type 1. I know it's not easy for any of us. Anything, I see a guitar in the background. What are you doing to keep busy?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of this, a lot of playing music, and I've been one of those folks who has dug into, you know, a little bit of cooking and a little bit of fixing the house, and I'm not making soap like Chelsea, but I'm doing my very best with what I have. And I'll put in a plug for the Dads Group. We love being able to run a Dads Group at Friends for Life, and if you're not already a part of it and you're a dad, we'd love to have you. I have had some of the most moving experiences of my diabetes journey at the men's groups, and amazing questions and amazing learning, and just a lot of camaraderie, which I really appreciate.
It is such a gift for all parents to be involved in things like that. It really is a gift for your child. So if you're a dad thinking about it, you've been reluctant because, you're a manly man. Guys don't do that. Please do that. It's wonderful. Yeah. Justin, thanks for bringing that up.
You bet.
Chelsea, where can we buy your soap? I'm not kidding.
No, I mean, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm type 1 comedian, type TYPE, the number 1 comedian on Instagram. Cause I'm always, posting pictures on there. Cause just for the heck of it, I'm not really, trying to sell, but I'm right. Cause I don't have a business license or anything. And you gotta have insurance when you're selling something that you're going to rub on your body and then cause somebody to lose, skin. Or something that they may, some organ that they may need, something like that. So I'm willing to just pay me to ship it and I'll send you some soap. It's no big whoop.
And I have to ask you, is there anything that you've made that's been more interesting? I've seen a couple of things that you've called disasters that I still think are beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, there was one one of the things that happens when you mix the lye water into the oil. Sometimes if you add some additives like fragrances, they react differently. And one that I put in there just turned it looked like cottage cheese. And I thought it was oh, well, learning experience. And so, but I put it in the mold anyway, and I colored it with a little orange and a little yellow. And when it's solidified, it looked like Colby cheese. And so, it was and the funny thing is, it turns out to be a really good soap. It's a really good hand soap. I don't know what I put in it or what, percentages, but it comes out to this really nice hand soap that doesn't leave your hands all stripped. And I was like, okay, great. Now I don't know how to do it again.
Right.
So memories.
It's a great trick, but I can only do it once.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wonderful. Well, as usual, we got off topic of diabetes, but thank you all so much for joining me on this for another edition of Wait, Don't Poke Me. And maybe we'll do it again sometime. But thank you all so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed it and had a couple of laughs.
Loved it. Thank you.
It was fun. Thank you.